If I can just change the topic onto another big talking point in the build-up to Australia was the Ferrari, the Ferrari issue. Obviously, your press release and the team's responses. Do you understand why this original gang of 7 teams, but now 6 teams, were unhappy with the situation?
But since then, I mean, we have been exchanging different correspondences, and we have time to write at the moment. I will sympathize to be curious, but on the other side, I will say the way FIA has approached, I think I've done it the most professional it could do. So let's make some story about that. Come back. I mean, something also which was suggested by some competitors that Ferrari could be out of the rules. So for months, we have been on the back, our technician have been on the back of Ferrari to try to understand if what they were doing were regular, legal, or not legal. And I must say myself, I put quite a lot of pressure to our teams to make as many control as needed, saying that we don't need to do that only because somebody kind of whistleblower is telling us. So we need to make sure that each single team is running the show legal. And I encourage, and I felt, honestly, one of the things probably was most frustrated thing for me in their letter was to say that I tried to dissuade them to protest, which was all the opposite. And individually, when I spoke with them, they said it is true. I say, why you say it is true? Why did you write that? So I think it is clear that I encourage them, if they were not happy, to make a protest. So we could have been laxist. Nobody did a protest. We could have leave the thing like that. So still, we wanted to go to the top of the problem. So we run very, very complex verifications to try to understand the problem. And then we end up, after the championship, and again, we make a control on Leclerc's car in Abu Dhabi, and the stewards decided that it was a human mistake, and they imposed a fine. And again, we could have said, okay, it's fine. We still pushed a lot to have a full understanding of the situation. And I must say, most of the top teams were saying, we want to understand, but they said the most important things is that whatever is understood, the situation will be clear for 2020. So we changed the regulation for 2020, where we were sure that it will not be any kind of ambiguity with the regulations. And then, when we arrived to conclusions, we felt that what Ferrari did was not legal, which they debated. They say it is legal. So I could have decided to give that to the Court of Appeal. We don't know what would have been decided by the Court of Appeal. It may have taken years, which was not in the interest of Formula One, or that was a condition with Ferrari, which is planned, and I always take my note on that just to make sure, which is planned in the Article 4 of the judicial and disciplinary rules, that unless Ferrari will allow us to give the detail, which we will be very happy. Honestly, if you ask me, I would love to be able to give the whole detail of the situation. But they do oppose to that. So, I mean, they have been sanctioned, but we cannot give the detail of the sanction. And clearly, we could have said nothing. So, I mean, honestly, that's very simple. Very simple. And I mean, we have put so much effort to go to our conclusions, which they don't agree. They don't agree. And unfortunately, and you know, that's a very much, that's the complexity of technical matter, because our technicians say, I mean, we cannot for sure demonstrate as much as we should that they were not legal.
You've obviously given your response to the teams. The World Motorsport Council has given you its unanimous support for what you've done. Do you now consider the matter closed from your perspective?
So, I mean, incidentally, you know, I spoke individually with some of the 7 teams. One of them decided that he was completely out of it, despite having been one of the leaders. I don't know the or one of, because depending with whom you speak, you know. Since then, I never heard about, I mean, any other state of soul. I read in the press that it was a discussion between 2 chairmen. I received a letter from one answer to my letter, which was, I don't know if you saw this letter, but it was, I mean, Olivier can show you the letter. I don't have any problem on that. And I received one answer to them where, I mean, they confirm that they understand the position of the FIA. That means that they're happy of the position of the FIA and they would love Ferrari to allow the visibility of the case, which I would love to, but we can't.
One of the key issues is your technicians couldn't prove Ferrari had broken the regulations.
Can you repeat that?
Sorry, one of the key issues here is your technicians could not prove Ferrari broke the regulations. There was no guarantee of proof it happened.
Yeah.
How can teams trust the FIA to police complicated regulations where these issues, these grey areas exist?
I mean, that is a fair point. But you know, it has always been. It's probably more complex now. But saying that, if you see the organization of FIA now on the technical side compared to what it was, you know, but it was at all the level. You know, that is why. But you know, I think in a modern world, with whistleblower, with all that, I mean, it makes things much more difficult for a responsible to ask, is some of his team members to be accomplice of a wrongdoing? And you know, with the people changing from one team to another one, it makes the things very difficult. But I mean, if you tell me, can you guarantee that whatever happens, you will be able to detect? The answer is no.